for climate adaptation, we have launched what's called Climate Adaptation Window, Mr. President, under the African Development Fund, and which Kenya is a big contributor to the African Development Bank. And this is to, now has $429 million that will support us to provide 20 million farmers with access to crop insurance and livestock insurance. Another 20 million farmers to have access to climate-resilient agricultural technologies to build their resilience. Then to essentially regenerate 1 million hectares, Mr. President, of degraded land and all that. So this is a very, very big investment that we are making. And finally, I want to say something about, you know, as a kid, I know your mother, you were selling things as a kid. I was selling things also as a kid. My mother told me something, that the way you, when you go to the market and you're selling something, the way you present what you are selling is the way people buy it. What I'm saying by that is this. Africa has the biggest carbon lungs in the world, which is the Congo Basin. Bigger than Amazon. And now, but if you look at how we are valuing our wealth, biodiversity, carbon sequestration, Mr. President, is not valued. So all of what we're doing, sequestering carbon for the rest of the world, has no value. Somebody says, well, I will do for you a voluntary carbon market, which is basically, you know, greenwash my conscience, give you a little bit there, give you a little bit there. No, we don't want that. We want the wealth of Africa to be recalibrated based on what we have. And if you take the forest, if you take the carbon that we are sequestrating, I can tell you then the GDP as a measure of wealth, Mr. President.
Include our renewable assets.
Renewable assets.
And all that.
Yes. If we took that, Mr. President, then the GDP is just a measure of value of goods and services and economic produces. But you are not measuring our carbon stocks. It's over there. We are saving the world. We are not getting any benefits from it. When I used to work here in Kenya, somebody came to my office and said, we want you to support farmers. I was then at Agra and Rockefeller Foundation. We want you to support farmers to plant trees because of carbon. I said, how much are you going to pay them? He said, $1 per ton. I said, look, come on. What we are saying is we must have a local carbon market ourselves, an African carbon market, price our carbon properly, and make sure then that our GDP takes into consideration, it's adjusted based on the positive externality we have. Then the value of our GDP, if it takes into consideration the value of our forest, the carbon stock and so on, will be so high. Then our debt to GDP ratio will go down.